It is about 2:30 p.m. here on Saturday, July 13th, 2024, and I'm here in the eastern part of this row in the southern half of my pasture. And you can see the tree that I tried to cut down, but it got caught in the branches and it won't fall. And here's Mr. Bull, Mr. Lonely Bull. Yeah, he wishes he can be with the cows. The grass here, you can tell, is super thick. It's super awesome. I can't wait to get the cows here, but it's going to be a while before the cows get here. So we are actually in the weeds, those weeds that I talked about a couple weeks ago. Ooh, there's lots of berry thorns, thorn bushes. You can see the sheep are going after these weeds. They just love the leaves. And you can see that here, like, they already stripped like the bottom half of the weed. But oh, right now I'm in like thick Bermuda grass. It's up almost to my knees. Anyway, so I'll just kind of get in the middle of the weeds here, kind of show you what we're up against. And you can see it's just all weeds there. It's all weeds around here. And this whole area is just covered in weeds. So hopefully the sheep will attack the weeds and the berry bushes. Now, why are there weeds here? What happened? Well, the answer is back in 2022, I believe, about this time of year, we had a field fire. So we were in the middle of a bad drought. It hadn't rained for like a month or a month and a half or something. And then we had a little lightning storm come by, just dropped a little bit of rain. And right here where I'm standing, there was a big wood pile. And we think that the fire started here. So maybe the lightning struck the wood pile or something. And then that happened in the morning. And then by the evening, the grass started to burn. There was hardly any grass. It was so short. Everything was dry and dead, and it just took off like a match, right? Really. It just burned so rapidly. It consumed about a third of my pasture, and it consumed my neighbor's back 20, most of it, and some of that nature preserve with the pond there. And a lot of his trees died. Some of my trees died, but not too many of them, right? I think it was because my grass was grazed low from the cows that the fire didn't really do too much damage to me. I also had the chickens in this area at the time. Thankfully, all the chickens survived, so we didn't have a problem there. But that's kind of the story about what happened. So when you have an area that's disturbed to that extent, right? So we had fallen trees, we had like a wood pile there, and that burned for 2 or 3 more days after the grass fire. It was completely surrounded by ash. Everything was burnt up, so there's no chance of the fire spreading. But so that area was burned to the ground and probably underground, and basically the soil was killed. So these weeds moved in. There's a different type of weed here last year, and looks like this year we're going to get this type of weed. But as you can see, the grass is starting to come back and grow. So people told me, they said, oh, your field burned, don't worry, they'll come back with grass. I'm like, well, the cows need to eat today. When can I expect that grass? You know, what date can I expect the grass to grow back? And sure enough, it's starting to grow back, but it's years later. So I don't plan on burning my fields. I don't think there's a point to it. I plan on using sheep to put sufficient pressure on the weeds. And if it turns out the sheep aren't enough, then I'm planning on getting goats. It's going to cost some more to really set up a good perimeter fence, but I'm planning on using goats and sheep to do the majority of my weed control. And if that doesn't work, then I'm going to use the cows. I'm going to bunch them up close together and just trample the weeds and like move them every 30 minutes or something like that. Just trample the weeds into the ground. I don't see the weeds as bad. I see them as part of the natural process. They serve a role, they do an important job. And I would rather have weeds than bare ground, you know. And I know that weeds are basically the precursor to grass. So once the weeds have done their cycle, they've worked their ways out of their little niche, I don't know how to pronounce that word anymore, the grass will take over. And also weeds provide variety. The sheep and the animals can eat different things, including the weeds, and thus get different nutrients. So there's that sheep that's still losing her coat. I think it's pretty funny. My ram that I just brought over yesterday Looks like he's still smelling out the area. This is the younger ram here. Let's see if I can find Rammy. Rammy! Rammy! Where are you, Rammy? I don't see him. I do see that poor lamb there is limping. Yeah, I need to band the ramblings. So I probably should, maybe next week. Yeah, sometime next week. I think the temperature drops down to the 80s. We might get some rain too. When the temperature drops, I'll put them all in the pen and just go through, check all their hooves, spot treat any hoof issues, and then band all the ramblings. And I'm gonna have to come up with a better plan for how the breeding cycle for the sheep, like what to do when and how to do it. But I think that I don't mind them being born earlier in the year. My goodness, you missing your mommy? I think I don't mind them being born earlier in the year, like in March, late February and March. If it means that they don't have to be born in December, because I'm worried that we might get a December storm. You know, that happened once. It's probably okay. It's probably okay. Worst case scenario, I can put them in my shop or something. You know, if it's going to be like below 0 or something like that. So I'm not too concerned about that. Anyway, so that's something I'm thinking about, is like exactly what days to do what and how to organize them and everything like that. So that's my plan. Guys, have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.